If you've been struggling to make brown chapatis every single time, today I'm going to be showing you a very easy and detailed recipe which is going to have minimal ingredients, and the outcome is going to be perfect brown chapatis. I always use warm water to make my chapatis, so I have around 3.5 cups of warm water. So I'm going to be adding in some salt, and sugar. I love adding in sugar to my chapatis because it helps balance the salt, making very delicious chapati. You'll taste your water. Mine is perfect. The sugar shouldn't be too much because we don't want sugary chapati. So the next step is to add in the wet ingredients together with the dry. So I'm going to keep aside, pick a clean bowl, and add in my brown flour. I've added around 5 to 6 cups of brown chapati flour. So next I'm going to add in my warm water. Using a spoon, I'm going to mix in the dry ingredients together with the wet. Make sure to go to the bottom of the bowl so that everything can get fully combined. Once a dough is formed, I'm going to go in with my hands, and it's going to be very easy for me because I used warm water. So I'm going to knead for around 5 minutes, sprinkling in some extra brown flour to my dough until I get a soft dough. You'll need some muscle at this point to knead the dough. And because I'm already used to making chapatis every single week, it's very easy for me. At this point, I'm going to add in 2 tablespoons of cooking oil to my dough. If you notice that the dough is super wet, you can sprinkle in some extra brown flour to the dough and knead until the dough is soft. If it is on the dry side, you can add in a little bit more water so that you can get a soft dough. Now I'm going to be kneading for another 5 minutes, making the kneading time to be 10 minutes. After 10 minutes, this is how the dough is looking like, and as you can see, it's not sticky at all and it's soft and elastic. So now I'm going to be resting my dough for around 15 to 20 minutes so that we can proceed to the next step. So you're going to spread some cooking oil on top of the dough, and then you're going to cover with a kitchen towel so that the dough doesn't dry out on top. The key to making perfect brown chapatis is in kneading the dough. So make sure that you knead the dough for around 10 minutes, and also make sure that your dough is not super soft, because once you're done making your chapatis, your brown chapatis are going to break apart because the dough was super soft. And if you make the dough super dry, your brown chapatis are going to be cracking like crisps once you're done making the brown chapatis. So follow the steps and you'll have some awesome and perfect brown chapatis. My dough has been resting for 15 minutes. So now it's time to show you the next step. Working with brown chapatis is a little bit tricky, so hang in there. You're going to make awesome chapatis. So I'll scoop out some brown flour, sprinkle on my countertop, and then I'm going to transfer my dough. The first time I made brown chapatis, trust me, it was not so good, but I've perfected over the years. and I always make perfect brown chapatis. So I'm going to divide the dough in half, just like that, and then I'm going to be working on one piece. Give the dough a little bit of kneading. Tuck the dough in the bottom side, and the dough is not sticky at all. Just look at my hands. Sprinkle some more brown flour. Make sure all the sides are dusted with flour, and then using my rolling pin, I'm going to roll out the dough. The shape shouldn't be defined, so any shape will do. I'm going for a circle. And because you dusted your working surface with some brown flour, the dough is not going to stick. Spread the dough thinly, making sure to go to the edges, just like that. And now I'm going to be adding in around a tablespoon and a half of cooking oil. Spread using the palm of my hands. This is how I usually do it every single time, and it saves time because you'll be working on 2 pieces of dough. So yeah, so once you're done, you're going to use a pizza cutter and cut the dough into strips. Just like that, easy peasy. Then you're going to pick one piece of strip and roll just like that. Spreading the oil on the dough is going to give you layers once you are done making your brown chapatis. Tuck the dough on the bottom side just like that, and I'll have some nice soft layered brown chapatis. Now that I'm done rolling my dough, I'm going to proceed to the next step. So you're going to place a chapati pan or a skillet over medium-high flame. I'm going to place my dough aside. And then I'm going to be working on one. So I'm going to sprinkle some brown flour on my countertop. Working with brown flour is a little bit tricky. So when it comes to rolling out the dough, you're going to slightly use your rolling pin to roll out the dough, because if you use so much force, the shape is going to be not defined. And using my rolling pin, I'm going to roll out the dough into a nice and even circle. The first time it's going to be tricky, but trust me, after you try out around 5 to 6 times, you're going to make very awesome and delicious brown chapatis. Move vertically and horizontally as you roll out the dough. Make sure to go to the edges. If you roll out the middle part to be very thin, the chapati is going to crack in the middle because you rolled out thinly. So make sure it's just even. Once the dough is ready, I'm going to transfer to my hot skillet, just like that. And then I'm going to pick another piece of dough and roll out. You're going to wait for the dough to cook for around 30 seconds to 1 minute, and then you're going to flip. When you notice air pockets in the chapati, you're going to flip. I'm going to pick a spatula and flip my chapati so that it can cook on the other side. And I'm done with this one. So I'm going to wait for another 30 seconds to 1 minute until the dough is nice and perfect. And once I notice very large air pockets on my chapati, I'm going to place on a plate with the rest and cover with a kitchen towel so that the chapati doesn't dry out. This step is usually really fast, so you have to be on your toes so that your chapati doesn't burn. And also, you should cook the chapati until it's cooked on the inside. Lovely. Transfer to the rest. And I'm almost done, so I'm going to place in my chapati, and then I'm going to roll out the last one. So now it's time for the last step, which is oiling the chapati so that you can add in some lovely golden spots. So I'm going to be making my chapati in batches as usual. And I have so many chapati recipes you can check up here on the or in the description box. So I'm going to place in 4, pick my oil, and move the chapati around so that I can get those lovely golden brown spots. After about a minute, I'm going to check on my chapati and you can see the lovely golden brown spots. Add in some more cooking oil, and I have a piece of paper over here which is going to help me handle the hot chapatis. Flip the top one so that it can cook on the other side once I'm done cooking the bottom chapati. At this point also, the kids are going to knock on your door asking for chapatis because the chapatis are smelling awesome. Flip and add in more cooking oil. So I'm going to be repeating until I'm done with the rest of the chapatis, and it's going to take around 10 minutes because the chapatis are not a lot. And my first chapati is ready, so I'm going to transfer to a plate and cover with a kitchen towel so that the chapati doesn't dry out. And remember, I'm using medium-high flame. If you use high flame, the chapatis are going to have very dark spots, and we want lovely golden brown spots. Check on the chapati as it cooks. Move the chapati around. And I'm super excited to have my chapati with some chicken. It's going to be so good. The chapatis have turned out so good. They are incredibly soft. They love layers, and I love the golden brown spots on my chapati. The chapatis are best served over some proteins or some vegetable curry, and it's still going to be a hit. So thank you so much for watching, and I hope you'll be trying out this easy brown chapati recipe.